Welcome to Marian Ayurveda. In this episode, what we're going to think about is almonds. Is it good to eat almonds regularly? This question was asked to us by someone in our comment box. So this is an answer to that, and it's something I've wanted to clarify for a long time. Because we see a lot of patients who eat almonds. So if we haven't understood what's right and wrong about this, we end up watching a lot of videos. There are a lot of videos available on YouTube today about the benefits of almonds. But when it comes to how to use them, many of these videos often lack a proper scientific analysis. I am Dr. Anumod Kakkassery Marian Ayurveda Thrissur. Let me ask you something. Is good firewood important for making a fire? We all definitely know that a fire will only burn well if we have good firewood. At the same time, if we put about 2 kilograms of firewood on a small stove with just a little ember, what will happen? Even that little fire will get smothered. It's the same when we talk about almonds, Badam. Almonds are a very good food item. At the same time, when we talk about our digestive power, often when we see ads about acidity on TV, they show it as fire. The fire in the stomach or the digestive enzymes are represented as fire. This fire is what is referred to as the digestive system. Some people have very little digestive power, very little appetite. Appetite is referred to as fire. If a person with very little appetite eats 5 or 10 almonds, what will happen? Their already low appetite will disappear completely. So then how many almonds should we eat in a day? What does Ayurveda say about almonds? Nowadays, I see many patients, especially those coming with heart disease, and from what I understand, for quite a few of them, the onset of heart disease began after they started regularly consuming nuts like almonds. Often when we talk about a good dose of almonds, it means eating about 5 a day. If you ask whether it's better to eat them in the morning or at night, it's generally said that eating them in the morning is better. So in the morning, when we say you can eat 5, what people, our patients, those who can often do is, as a routine, they take 5 almonds, 5 walnuts, 5 pistachios, 5 peanuts, and so on, taking 5 of each. If such a person doesn't get a heart attack within a year, it would be a miracle. That's how dangerous a situation a person is heading towards. At the same time, if you eat a total of 5 nuts, almonds, pistachios, walnuts, etc., in the morning, then it might actually be good for your heart or help lower cholesterol. So whether it's almonds or any other nuts, we know that all of these have a very high oil content. Therefore, regularly eating these nuts with high oil content is something that only people with good digestion can manage. Similarly, for those with fatty liver, liver cirrhosis, and similar conditions, we know that the liver is the main organ responsible for fat metabolism. If people with any kind of liver dysfunction eat these almonds, it can further disrupt their digestive system. So what does this mean? When a healthy person eats almonds in the right way, it benefits their heart health. But for those with digestive issues, eating almonds can cause blockages in the heart or disrupt its functioning. And there are a lot of studies about this available on the internet nowadays. In these studies, they don't say that eating almonds causes digestive issues or specifically mention side effects of almonds. Instead, they talk about some problems observed in people who consume almonds. That is, we know that someone who used to have regular bowel movements without any issues starts experiencing difficulty passing stool after they begin eating almonds. That means many studies mention constipation as one of the side effects of almonds. Similarly, while some people experience constipation, in others it causes diarrhea. That is, it is reported that people who eat almonds may experience loose stool several times a day. Similarly, many people are now being advised to eat almonds as part of a diet plan to lose excess weight. However, studies say that almonds can actually lead to weight gain if not consumed carefully. So there are a lot of such claims about this. Similarly, it is also said that if you eat almonds at night before going to bed, it can disturb your sleep or even cause nightmares. So almonds in various forms, nowadays among children, one of the biggest problems I have observed, just like heart disease, is that the most harmful effect of almonds is seen in children with a condition called adenoid. When we look at many children with adenoids, we tend to give them natural chemical-free nuts, right? For these children, their digestive system can handle only 1 or 2 almonds at most per day. Often, since almonds taste good and seem harmless, they end up eating them frequently. This makes it difficult for children's stomachs to digest them properly. If this is not digested, it can lead to glandular swelling like adenoids in children, nasal congestion, breathing difficulties, or phlegm accumulation. What happens if it is not digested? Ayurveda says that if something is not digested, it will cause breathing difficulties. Ayurveda says that respiratory issues and cough originate from the stomach. That is, according to Ayurveda, the root cause of persistent cough and breathing difficulties is disturbances in the digestive system. So, when many children are brought in with breathing difficulties or cough, we often observe that just by changing their habit of eating things like almonds or nuts, their breathing problems improve. Similarly, we see a lot of digestive issues, and in elderly people, the enlargement of the prostate gland as well. This leads to an increase in phlegm. If digestion does not happen properly, it can clearly be seen that this becomes a major reason for the increase in phlegm. So, what does Ayurveda say about this? Ayurveda says that this is a very heavy substance. When something is described as guru, Ayurveda considers it as a substance that is difficult to digest. That's why it's better for people with a kapha constitution, that is, those who are of a heavier build, to avoid consuming this. It is said that Badam, almond, has a slightly warm nature. So, because of that, it's not a big problem. But for those whose bodies tend to overheat, it's better not to consume too much of it. Similarly, for those with a vata constitution, that is, people who are lean, always on the move and energetic, consuming this badam is actually very good for their bodies. Because let's think about it in another way. Take heart disease, for example. Heart disease, even if there are blocks, that's heart disease. And even if the heart muscles don't pump properly, that's also heart disease. When it comes to helping these muscles pump, eating Badam, almonds, supports this function in those who consume it. Because let's understand, after a certain age, the pumping ability of our heart decreases. So as a result, blood doesn't reach the brain and blood doesn't reach the hands and legs. For people like this, if they eat badam, almonds, the heart muscles gain more strength. Similarly, it is said in Ayurveda that it helps eliminate high blood pressure. That is, for women who have excessive bleeding, if they eat badam up to a certain limit, about 5 almonds a day, not more, if they eat 5 almonds at a time, 3 times a day, making it 15 in total, that will cause problems. If they eat 5 almonds in the morning each day, it can help stop their bleeding. It is also good for those who have problems like bleeding through the nose. Similarly, one of the major benefits mentioned in Ayurveda is that it increases the quality and quantity of semen, or in other words, it enhances reproductive fluids. So after hearing this, I know that many people, especially those who are undergoing treatment for infertility, have started eating almonds and other nuts after being told that they have issues like low motility. But for many people, the problem of low motility is actually due to digestive issues. That is, their lack of motility is because their food is not being properly digested. When such people start eating almonds, their digestive power decreases even further. That means, for example, what is called forward motility. People who previously had good sperm movement, after they start eating almonds, even that motility disappears. So in such cases, especially in thin individuals, the semen will not have any strength at all. For such people, if they eat almonds, their sperm count and sperm motility will improve. At the same time, for people who cannot digest anything, if we want to understand digestion, there are 2 types of gas that can form. One is the gas that forms when you don't eat food, and the other is the gas that comes after eating food. So if a person's body tends to produce gas after eating food, it means that the food they are eating is not being digested properly. For such people, if they eat these almonds and already have motility issues, their motility will decrease even further. So in one way, this is good. For thin individuals or for those who have a lot of difficulty digesting food, it is best to completely avoid eating this because it contains a lot of oil content. At the same time, it's not a big problem. If someone has motility issues, they can have 2 or 3 almonds. If we use it in that way, we can understand that it acts as something that increases semen. So if you are wondering who should completely avoid this, it is those who have lumps. That is, people who develop various types of lumps in the body. Sometimes it could be an adenoid gland, or it could be on the skin, or it could be glands like lipomas, or even diabetes itself. Now, if we look at people who already have diabetes, for many of them, their digestion, that is their PPBS, if their blood sugar spikes drastically right after eating, then it is better to avoid eating almonds. On the other hand, if the blood sugar rises during fasting, then we can consider that eating almonds may not cause much of a problem. Therefore, for those who have issues in their digestive system, eating almonds can be quite dangerous. In other words, the harm outweighs the benefits. So for people who consistently have indigestion, experience gas every time they eat, if they regularly eat almonds, there is a chance they could quickly develop a heart blockage. Similarly, it is also said that it can cause the formation of stones. It is said that almonds contain a high amount of oxalate. So for people who are prone to developing stones, especially urinary stones, research suggests that they should completely avoid eating almonds. So for everything we consume, there is a certain logic behind it. Now, if someone on YouTube says something is good and you keep eating it regularly, it is said that this can cause many diseases, including skin diseases. It is said that almonds can cause many diseases. So that's the logic. Whenever we eat any food or when we start a new diet, we should think about whether it is good or bad for our body. When we eat this, do we have any difficulty passing stool the next day? So if you realize that you have difficulty, you should never eat that item again. Similarly, when we eat this, does our body experience an intense increase in heat? If we observe ourselves whenever we eat any kind of food like this, we will be able to understand whether it is good for us or not. Let's meet again in another episode. Thank you.